Hello everybody, welcome to All About Africa. Today we have a special edition. Ade Dolapo Ade Kambi, popularly known as Dolapo DaVibe. She is the fastest rising Afrobeat artist. She's collaborated with some of the biggest names in the Afrobeat scene. Today we're going to be learning a little bit about her life, her work, and also her latest project. Stay tuned, we'll be right back. Ade Dolapo Ade Kambi, famously known as Dolapo DaVibe, was born and raised in Lagos, Nigeria, and began her singing career in her late 20s. Now, some of us might think this was a late start. For Dolapo, it was the perfect time. With a bachelor's degree under her belt and actively serving in the U.S. Army, the fast-rising Afrobeat star is grinding her way to the top of the music chart, one album or song at a time. We begin our interview by learning the origin of our artist's name, Dolapo DaVibe.
Yeah, it's a name that came to me from the help of God. You know, Dolapo is obviously my first name, and DaVibe was, there's no story behind it. It's just really the energy, you know, that I bring. It's the energy that I bring on all levels of life. You know, in my music, in my style, in my appearance, in my persona, all of that. You know, that's where the vibe came from. And I just felt like that was the perfect name to, you know, Dolapo DaVibe, man. You can't argue that I'm not the vibe.
But no, I can't argue, but I will say, what kind of vibe do you hope? Or
good vibes, Lane. Good vibes. Okay. It's always good vibes. Positive energy, no negative vibes. Good vibes only. Good vibes only. Forever. Nothing but good vibes.
Nothing more. Nothing more, nothing less. We don't have good vibe. See your way out of here.
Get out the door, man.
Yeah. Dolapo's style of music is influenced by American hip-hop, R&B, reggae, Afro-pop, and a genre called Bedu. Now, for my non-Nigerians, I would have to explain to you what that genre is on a separate video. Now, she desires to create timeless music by taking her fans on a journey with her lyricism.
But, you know, in music, when I write about love, it's more of a romantic type of love. You know, it's just like writing about somebody that you've got like special feelings for, and just, you know, trying to explain how you feel about the person and why they should be with you or why they should not leave you or why they should stay or why, you know, why you feel the way you feel, you know. It's just, I feel like everybody in life must have experienced that, and people resonate more with what they've experienced.
Sure.
You know, when it comes to music, you know, there's a lot that you can sing about. You know, doing Afrobeats, but, you know, love is one of the things that would never phase out.
Sure.
Trying to create timeless music, love will never phase out. So you would always be able to play that song, you know, and be like, oh, whatever, you know, there's always a kind of love song for different love situations. Yeah. So it's just to have a dimension.
And even different maturity level.
Exactly, you know, because what's love to some people is childish to some other people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's just me explaining what love means to me, you know, through my music, and just trying to connect with people that understand love on that level.
Dolapo DaVibe's single Owo was released in January 2020 at the start of the pandemic, paving the way for many worldwide to know and engage with her work. Now, Owo means money in the Yoruba language, one of the three main languages spoken in Nigeria. The song's lyrics speak about the power of money and the comfort it brings. Although Dolapo grew up content, being financially free is one of her deepest desires. So you sing a lot about money as well. And I know that Nigerians or Africans, I should say Africans, we sing a lot about our reality. That's what we sing about, right?
Like, that's facts.
That's what we sing about. But I'm curious to know, what was childhood difficult for you that makes you sing so much about money?
I didn't have a difficult childhood. I'm a mommy's baby. That's why I like to, I mean, it's not like something to be proud of, but I don't like, it's cool. I didn't struggle as a child. I didn't have to do things that children would normally not do. You know, I had a pretty decent childhood. But money is important in life.
Indeed.
You know, and it's one of my greatest things have always been like, I've always dreamt about getting my own, you know, making my own money and being in charge of my own life and not having to ask anybody for anything. You know, and just, you know, really just making it in life and not just coming to life and living like that. You get what I'm saying?
Get what
So
you're saying.
when I sing about money, it's really personal because it's like, it's deep. It's from deep within. You know what I'm
Why
saying?
is it so personal? So when you sing about money, because there's different type of money. There's money and there's money. So I want to know, which one are you singing about? Is it the money? Or is it the money?
You always gotta go for the best. It's the money.
It's the money.
Don't play. Yo, so man, yeah, man. Money is, you see, money stops nonsense. You know what I said? Money good, oh, make them know they bubble you.
Yeah.
I want the fancy life and the motor too. Money good, don't let them lie to you.
Right.
So I feel like it's just like, so I'm an advocate for hard work and making your own.
Yeah.
You know, I like to really sing about that and talk about that, because when you have your own, no one's gonna tell you do this or do that. There's money on different levels, you know,
Sure.
obviously, but you know, nobody can boss you around.
Sure.
You know, I don't want to be a slave. I don't want to be a mechanic. I want to be a baller. You don't know that. You don't know that. You know, I want to be a baller. I want to do good things. So I want to drive nice cars.
True.
I want to have a nice house. I want to, you know, I want to be able to take care of my family without having to call somebody like, please, can you, you know what I'm saying? Okay. So it's just like, you know, when I'm writing, right, it's like storytelling, but it's also like I'm putting things out into the universe.
As well, right?
So that's why I'm always about positive energy. Right. You know, when you put out stuff into the universe and you're like, this is what I want. And people are singing the song. Every day somebody is singing, oh, is working for me and you.
Right.
You know, it's like you're reassuring yourself. And also me, I'm the one that recorded the song. So it's like my voice is, I don't know how to put it, but I know what I'm saying. I know what I'm saying.
To storytelling and music, I think those are the type of music that last long. I feel personally, as a storyteller myself,
timeless, man.
Yeah, I always gravitate to music that seems to last long. And I know one of your songs, I know the title is escaping me right now, that talks about people working, somebody working and you're not working, but you want something to happen.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
That's
work.
That's the
See your life in the party, you like it better something, but you don't want to work for the money.
Exactly. I was listening to that this morning, right?
You like it better something.
But you don't want to work for the money. How is it going to happen?
How's that supposed to happen?
Yeah.
Like, are you a magician?
Yeah.
You want to do magic over here?
So you have to work for it.
You got to work for it, man, if you want it.
Indeed.
Go get it.
Absolutely, and it takes loads of work to get there.
Yes,
too.
man.
So
it's not a one-day job, you know. It's like constant work.
Yeah.
Constant work. It's everyday work.
Right.
So, yeah.
So for you though, let's be very sincere with this question. Now, when you look at most of the Nigerian artists, just female artists in general, there's a type of styles that many of these women go for. So physically, they'll be very feminine, they'll be very exposed in most of your music. And I know that you're in the army, for sure. So I don't know if that adds to the image that you're creating, but I'm curious to know, how did you decide on your style? And was it an issue for you being a Nigerian woman and then appearing the way that you do in most of your songs?
So I've always been like this, honestly. Like, I wish you could just, you know, I wish, you know, when we're playing this, when I say I've always been like this, you just bring a picture of me.
No, we're going to do
that. I've always been like this. Like, I've just always been this way, you know, like, I never had any issues growing up with my style. I've always dressed like this, even in Nigeria.
Nobody questioned that.
There were people that said whatever they said, but like, what are you gonna do? Like,
that's who you are.
Come make me wear what? You know, like, for me, dressing, styling is about comfortability. Like, I'm not gonna wear things that I'm not comfortable in, that I don't feel comfortable in, and I don't look comfortable in. Right. So it's all about being comfortable and just owning it. You know, like, you know, when you dress good, it does something to you. You know now, when you dress good, let me say you wear gele and all of that, there's a different kind of shoulder that your shoulder go puff small.
The one that you,
but if you know where, not like your dressing will determine your confidence, but it adds to it.
It does.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So yeah. So if you're not feeling good in what you're wearing, you're not gonna be feeling yourself. And I always like to be good, feeling like myself. So I always go for the things that I'm comfortable in. You know, so never really had any issues. You know, people always gonna talk. Nobody talk about you, then you are nobody.
That's true. That's true.
That's facts.
Now, with your music, you didn't start out to become a singer, for sure. You just shared with me that you started out being a photographer, right?
Oh,
You
yeah,
were doing
man.
photography for a while, then you branch off into music. Sometimes I feel
did.
like with this artist and with artistic venture or with whatever we decide to do as artists, it calls us after a while.
Yeah,
You have
man.
like multiple talents, and all of a sudden one just calls you.
Honestly,
you know?
man, growing
So-
up, I used to feel like I did a lot. Like, I was just like, God, which one I want to do, safe?
Yeah.
Do this. Like, I was just doing a lot of things in the arts. You know, like, I want to sing, I want to do this, I want to do that, So I just, prayed more to God for direction, and it was like, I just need to really figure out what this purpose is. Like, what am I really doing here?
Sure.
When Dolapo produced her first single, titled You, she was unsure of what to do next. One day, something remarkable happened.
How did that come about? Starting with your first single, You. How did you begin with that venture of becoming, well, not necessarily, when you put that out, you weren't sure what you were doing, but just walk us through that story very quickly so we can have a sense of
when I put out,
who you are and how you can be.
when I put out You, it was just like, I didn't put out You to be an artist, like, I'm about to embark on my career.
Artistic venture.
Nah. I put it out just, I just wanted my family and friends to hear the song. Just people around me. You guys hear what I recorded? It'd be like the thing they stop, like. But, something special happened on the day I released the song, where it's like, there's no greater sign than that. Like, God is not going to jump down and be like, hey, you, go and do that. Like, it's just, you're going to see the signs. Like, something will gear you towards that direction. But for me, like, I feel like the day I released the song, I met Bankole and Davido on the same day. And then, it was just, and I didn't even know them from anywhere.
How did you meet them?
It was like internet, it was just weird. The story is a funny story. Because it's like, I was just on Instagram and Bankole was on live and I joined the live. I just dropped the song. So I was even still thinking, like, how do I want to even push this song or let people hear this song? So I was like, let me just go on this man's live and play my song so people can even hear it because people were on the live, So, I played the song and he was like, wow, stop it. Where are you? I'm in New York. Oh, meet me at this place. And then I met him there and I remember being at the lobby and I was sitting down and then I just saw Davido and his crew just pass, like, walk out the door. And I was like, because in my mind, I thought I was coming to meet Bankole, not Davido.
Wow.
I didn't know they were together or whatever. Like, I didn't know any of that. So I saw that and I was like, am I dreaming? Like, that's Davido that just passed. I was like, well, okay. I was just still waiting in the lobby. So then they called me to come upstairs. Then I went upstairs to the room. Then the room was Davido's room. And then I remember Special Ed was there and Bankole.
So all the big people.
Yeah, man, and then David came back later, and then I met him, and they introduced me, and then he heard the song, and he was like, dope. And then he posted it on his story, like,
Just
everything
like
was,
that.
I swear, bro, everything was just happening like a dream. And I was just like, hell no. This is not true, But I didn't even know that I could write music until I wrote that song, You. And even after I wrote You, I still felt like, I'm not a music writer. I know I could sing, but like, I didn't think I could compose music.
Wow.
So I remember Bankole saying like, oh man, you're dope, like, let's work. Be like Dream. I was like, oh yeah? All right, let's do it. And then I was like, I'm not a music, I don't really know how to write. It's not like I'm so great at writing like that. And it was like, don't worry, we'll go run them.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was like, okay.
And here we are.
But the weird thing was, I wrote all those songs alone, but I didn't think I could do it.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, so you really had it in you. So I just needed like a little push or somebody to just be like, oh, you could do this. And then, but for me, music is not like, it's not something that I do to get out of poverty, that I'm hoping that will get me out of poverty. It's just like a gift that I have to share with the world. You get what I'm saying?
So the intent is the intent behind what you're doing,
Yeah.
because that was one of the things
Yeah.
I read on
Right,
based on
absolutely.
my research. It's the intent.
Absolutely,
So
the
You're
intent.
not chasing
Yeah,
the money. You
the
just want
intent.
this.
Yeah, it's always a good time for me to be, in the studio. It's always a good time being on stage. Being on stage, definitely, is always a good time. Like, I can't wait to travel the world and share my energy with people, different tribes, different vibes, that's the dream right there.
Wow.
I want to do that. I want to do that someday.
So what does it take to make it? Afrobeat is a very competitive world today. And making it for people, it means different things, right?
Yeah.
Somebody can put one song and make millions and then that's it. But, but what does it take? What does it take for somebody to so-called make it in that world?
I can't really speak for people, on what it takes to make it, because like you said, it's an individual thing. What you consider as make it for somebody might not be make it for somebody else. But I feel like you've made it if you feel like you're fulfilling your destiny, like you're doing what you were called to do on earth. Like if you've been able to identify that and you're doing that easily and effortlessly, then I feel like you should have felt it in your heart that you've made it. Because there's nothing in this world. It's not about cars and money and all of that. Like, those things are cool and good, but that's not what life is really about. You know what I'm saying? That's not the real essence of life. For me, the essence of life is to come to the world and, impact lives in whatever it is that you've been called to do. Like whatever gifts that God has blessed you with, just try to impact lives with that gift or those gifts. Right. Don't just come to the world and go and just make money and go. Because money is good, but you see money, no matter how much money, it could be lost within just one snap like that.
Lose it, yeah.
But when you impact lives, you impact lives. How do you lose that? Yeah. Except the person dies.
Right. And even with that, your legacy lives on.
Exactly. No, I'm saying like except the life you impact. I know the lives cannot die.
Yeah. Not at once, but
exactly at the same time. So I'm like, for me, that's really the essence of life. Just impacting lives and connecting with people and just living leaving that print. When they talk about you, let them be like, oh, that girl, that guy, let it be good things, please, whatever you do. God help us.
Now, what has been the most difficult aspect of what you do? So you started out your career as a singer, a performer, not knowing what you're doing, right? And now the ball is rolling, right? So what's the most difficult aspect, if there is, as to what you currently do now?
There are difficult aspects, for sure. Excuse me. Like you said, the ball is rolling. The ball is really rolling, and what I consider the most difficult part is having to make the ball roll.
Not stop.
Sound crazy.
No. Having the ball roll and not have it not stop,
and,
right?
And doing it like single-handedly and like, because I'm independent, and when there's a lot of people that are independent, but they have friends and uncles and aunts near them that can be like, oh, take this money, shoot your video, or oh, you need this, okay, I got you out. Like that's not my story. If I don't make it, if I don't initiate it, it's nothing's gonna be initiated in my own situation. So I feel like sometimes that takes a toll on me. I get a little frustrated sometimes, and I'm just like, like I need a team, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you have a team, maybe like definitely things would be better for you. Everything is not just dependent on just me. True. Like I have to think about the lyrics, the this, the that, the this, the that. Like it's a little too much. Yeah. But that's what you gotta do. That's the price that I have to pay. Okay. So I'm paying it slowly but surely. We're getting there.
Was there ever a pushback from your parents when you decided to venture into music?
No,
Did they ever tell you no? No?
No.
They supported you?
Man, I was already an adult, man. Like, I'm an adult, obviously, as you can see.
No, you're an adult.
But, like, I feel like parents will only tell you not to do music if maybe your life is going down the drain, or maybe, no, let me backtrack that. Maybe it doesn't look like you know what you're doing, or you know where you're going. Right. And now you don't have a job, you're not making any money. Now you want to go and be singing. Okay. Like, music takes money out of your pocket.
It does.
Before it brings to you.
It does, yeah.
So they're probably saying that just try and make some money first. you know, like pursue money or get a job.
Yeah.
You know, because there are people that, you know, I have a job, obviously. I have a
Right.
career on the
Right.
side.
Right.
And then I chose to start doing music.
Right.
So imagine like I didn't have a job and I only chose music. Maybe there will be a problem then.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Stability.
You know, yeah,
Right.
because obviously you don't want to be nobody want to be a hungry artist, like, you know, like struggling, and everybody wants to make it through their arts, you know, so, and it's tough, man. Shout out to all my artists that's still trying to come up, man. God's going to shine the light.
I'm pretty sure
We're there, we're in the same boats. We're all trying to come up.
that's true.
I'm in that boat too, so yeah.
So now you are currently serving in the American Army, is that correct?
That is
That's
very correct.
Right. What made you decide to join that, and how was that impacting you in your music career? Because I know that's no joke. First of all, the training is no joke. If you make it through that,
man.
you can make it through anything. But how is that impacting your music career? Is it aiding? Is it supporting? Is it holding you back?
You know, it's not holding me back, but it's
Right.
also holding back, because like the times when I, you know, I have work and maybe I have a show. I'm trying to get booked for a show, for example. But that day I have an important, maybe that's a range day at work, and
What's
you
that?
can't,
What's a
like,
range
you go to
day?
the range to shoot, like to train.
Right, right.
That's not a day where you can call out or be like, oh, I'll come back, you know, because it's a collective thing. If you miss it, then you gotta wait till another, you know, so times like that, you know, maybe like, there's been times when I wanted to go to Nigeria in December and I couldn't because work. You get what I'm saying? Because, you know, I had work. But it's not, you know, as regards, as far as creating, it's not holding me back, you know, because, you know, I'm able to do what I do at my pace, you know, at my own time. And I get support also from work. You know, they know that I make music and they support me.
The up and rising star has collaborated with talented and successful artists like double Grammy nominee Bankole, Jamaican American recording artist Nyanda of Brick and Lace, and Afrobeat stars Barry J and Peruzzi, just to name a few.
What do you hope, or where do you hope you go with your music? Everyone has a vision, or where they, you know, sometimes you start out this journey not knowing where you're going, right? But what do you hope happens for you? When you look at your life, given your journey, given all that you've gone through.
Yeah, man, I hope I make it big in music, you know. I hope that my music reaches places that I could never imagine. You know, I hope that my music is able to heal souls. It's not gospel, but like the vibe that it brings, I hope that it's able to bring joy into people's lives, you know. I hope that I'm able to perform on big stages, you know, like connect with the world on that scale, you know. I hope for good health and a lot of money.
So you talked about having your music healing people, right? And I know that I didn't begin my interview with this, but I was going to share with you the story how I came across or how I found your music. So my youngest sister, because there's a lot of us, Joy, was the one who introduced me to the song. So when I was researching and just learning about you and learning about your life, I saw that the song came out January 2020, which is like the beginning of COVID, really. And so we listened to it because at that time we just moved to our own apartment. We were struggling for quite a while. We were struggling artists, so we're speaking about this. So when we moved to that apartment, she would always play it and I would dance to it. And the part of the song is taking trips to Dubai just to see the stars. Oh, Africanuko, Baba look down below. Oh, it's almost like you're crying for help. It's like, God, see my heart, I'm so broke. So like, I'm so broke, see my heart. No, seriously. So please, like, shower your blessing on me. You know what I mean? It's almost like Shanu Oluwa.
Shanu me.
Yeah, please.
Oluwa, shanu
have
me.
mercy on me. So
don't let me be a mechanic.
So then a couple of months after that, in June, I got struck by a car. So we would play that. And we would vibe on it. And so when she finally went to the concert and saw you, she couldn't help but, you know, come home and tell me, Metinya, I met this. Initially she just played a song. And I said, oh, Joy, we gotta get her. I said, Joy, we have to get her. There's no way on earth. So if you're hoping that your music will heal the world, it is.
Thanks,
If
man.
you're hoping that the vibe is there, it is.
Thank you
so whatever
much.
you're putting out there, the positivity, that's there. It's
Thank
there
you so
already.
much.
Dolapo DaVibe is currently promoting her latest single, Nowo. Be sure to show her massive support. Now, the promising AfroBeat star believes in putting in the work and lives by that model every day. Dolapo encourages those afraid to share their dreams with the world to just do it.
So my last question for today is, what's your encouragement to those who are looking, or those who already have a dream in their heart and they're so afraid to push through because they're just afraid of the unknown, right? But you've been able to break through. Not necessarily you knew what you were doing, but you did it, you know? So do you have an encouragement to someone who's starting out, whether it's been music, dance, it doesn't really matter, right? It's just they have something in their heart and they just want to pour it out into the world the same way you're doing.
Yeah, thanks for asking me that. You know, like you already said the answer in your question.
I did.
The answer is just do it. You know, like, just do it. What are you scared of? Like, just put it out. Because whether you put it out or you don't put it out, I mean, if you put it out, whether it pops or it doesn't pop, you don't really have anything to lose. But you know that you already put it out. And you don't know who's connecting with it, right, or who it's resonating with. But you not putting it out is like you're doing yourself more of a disservice. You know what I'm saying? So just do it. Do it good, do it broke, do it, just do it. Do it with a phone. You don't need a DSLR. You know, do it. Just do it.
Wow, just do it.
Just do it.
Thank you.
Like the Nike thing.
The Nike slogan.
Yeah,
right?
just do it. Do it.
Well, thank you so much for joining me. We'll do this again for sure.
Thank you so much for having me, man. Appreciate you.
You're welcome.
God bless.
Thank you all for joining us. We'll see you again next time.